And I am live. Let's see how many people tune in today. Bobby Legs chiming in. Yeah, I don't know. First comment, I think. So that's something. Design is here. Craig, Justin, Wilson, Nefarian, Mr. Shinobi, Matthew, Tennessee Mike, Mark, Deej, Floridian's here, Adam, Peter C., Mr. Rizzo, David Williams, J Rod, Michael. Wow, okay. Things are going fast here. Oh man. These Mondays seem like they come around way too quick, don't they? Seems like every Monday it comes around, I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta do a live stream. Oh man, what is everyone wearing today? I am wearing the Damasco DA37. This is not my watch. I was actually wearing the Visitor Linden. This is the watch I wore today. Wow, we got some good ones here. I don't even know if I can read them all. Let's see. William sent me a DM. I'll check that after the live stream, I'll check it. Design's wearing an Aquas. We got a Wilson wearing a Pelagos. Oh yeah, Clayton, the Watchdog podcast. Clayton picked up a new Damasco DC80, which is the chronograph with the one single hand or whatever. Joey Joe is wearing the newly discontinued Colt 41 millimeter. That's not like the one I had, is it? Did they discontinue that? Yeah, comments are flying. Peter's rocking the El Primero. Anisha has the Black Bay 58. Dirk is signing in. Must not have his second job, or he's getting ready to head over to his second job. I still haven't even opened the box back that the box up that you sent back to me, Dirk. I haven't even opened it yet. They put the older dials in the newer case with the brushed bracelet in case. Huh, okay. So it was probably like a intermediate type one. Adam, good question. When was the last time I wore my Monster? It was last week. I wore it for 3 days in a row. But honestly, before that, I hadn't worn it in a little while. So David asked, did I sell the Breitling yet? No, the Breitling's right there. Nope, I still have my Super Ocean. So, yeah, these watches that are in front of you right here, that's kind of my collection right now. Do you guys believe that? Yeah, Bobby Lake said his wife didn't care for the Orange Monster. I've been selling watches, so I'm gonna have a much smaller collection for sure. Like legit, there's two more watches that are in my main box over here, the Patina Square and the Zimby Monster, but I'm gonna sell those. And this is gonna be what I'm gonna wear like right now. It'll evolve. It'll always change. Like I've been wearing this the last couple of days. I wore this DA37, the Art loaned in, which I need to send over to Chris over at the Watch Lounge. And I've been talking to Mark over at Long Island Watch. And I think I might actually pick one of these up, the DA37s with the ETA 2836. Now I did ask Mark if he would be able to swap in an orange seconds hand for me. So I think he has a DA37 for me, and I think he has an orange seconds hand. I did find one picture with that configuration, and I kind of like it. This watch looks really good like this with the black seconds hand. It looks perfect, right? But that pop of orange on there, like that's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to do that. So as soon as a couple more watches sell, then I'm going to probably pick up that, and then I'm going to be in a bit of a holding pattern for a while. Other than, yeah, I mean, you guys commented G-Shock squares don't count. G-Shock squares, like plastic ones, like the initial D one, and I don't know, I got a pile of them behind me. So yeah, I can always dabble. Like if they come out with a new square that catches my eye, yeah, I'm going to pick it up. It's not a big deal. You know, if there's a, you know, I still have these Timex. You know, if there's cheap, cool watches that I want to check out, yeah, I'll pick them up. But honestly, these two watches right here are probably going to end up as giveaways on my founders Discord group. So that's why I'm kind of keeping those around. They're really not worth selling. So may contain bleach with a super chat, $10. I think that's Canadian $10. Thank you very much. Tennessee Mike, is the white on the Damasco crisp? So here's no. I mean, it's a little. It's white. Like if you don't have another white dial next to it, it looks like a crisp white dial. They did C1 lume on that instead of like, so BGW9 usually printed dials are a little bit whiter when compared to like say C3. But now C1 lume, although it's not as bright as C3, is actually probably a little more whiter, especially when you contrast it with that black, than maybe the BGW9. So there's different tones of white, obviously, right? So this is a BGW9 full lume dial, and this is a C1 full lume dial. And then you check that with like a gloss, almost enamel-like type white dial that's like on this Visitor, and you can see where it doesn't look as white. You know, or if you want to look at the ceramic white of the Seamaster, then yeah, I mean, that is like a pure white. So that's where you're going to see probably like a little bit of an off-white. So, but it's still pretty dang white. I think I'm digging the white on it for sure. Bobby Legs, yeah, the Visitor. Honestly, Rob, I would probably send you this Visitor Linden, but I'm still in kind of a honeymoon phase with it. I still really dig this watch, and I picked that up full price. I just was one that I just kind of connected with. Let's see. Floridian sipping on some bourbon barrel ale. That sounds good. Let's see. Scrolling back through some comments. Yep, I got somebody hooked on some G-Shock squares. Oh, I think Al asked, hello, Rob. How are you liking the new Blue Tuna SBBN 043? You know, I actually forgot I owned that watch. So I have that watch too. But it's not, Bruce has it. Bruce Williams has it right now. So I don't know if he's sending that back or maybe he already did. I don't know. I don't know where that one's at. Will's on a plane waiting to take off. That's cool, man. You're out doing something. May contain bleach with another super chat. He says, hello, was curious if you had a take on the new Longines Legend Diver Bronze. I honestly don't know anything about that watch. May contain bleach. However, I know Longines is an awesome brand. I have not experienced them yet. I don't know. I'm kind of burned out of bronze watches to a certain extent. And then I don't know how I feel about a bronze like luxury or higher end watch. That's an interesting concept for sure. Let's see. First time catching this live. Love the videos every Monday. Thanks, Justin, for chiming in. Joseph is asking about the Timex Ironman. I've reviewed a couple of Ironmans on the channel before. I haven't handled one recently, and I know there's some new ones out. So, Floyd says that Visitor Dune Shore Shallows you unboxed earlier is bonkers. That orange is. You know what? Maybe I should grab that. Where is? I don't know where I put it. I'm looking behind me. Let me go grab that Dune Shore because I don't know if everybody actually saw that. Dune Shore, Dune Shore. Towson. I don't know where it's at. Oh, here it is. I got too many cubbies, guys. So I have these cubby units. There's 612 and another 6. I have 18 cubbies behind me, and they all have like watches in them. So it's a little hard for me to keep track of what cubby things are in, but maybe I should label them or something. I don't know. Yeah, Peter, the visitor is definitely not for everybody. It's they're doing their own thing. That is 100% for sure. But the fact that they're doing their own thing, you know how like, oh shoot, I don't have enough. I gotta grab another watch or something. So here's a gripe. Let's talk about something. Or here we can do this because I have it within hand's reach. So you have the steel diver, right? You know what? These things get a pass. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use something else. For some reason, everybody gives these a pass because they're $135 and they do Seiko better than Seiko does, and they get a pass for some reason. Let me go grab something that doesn't get a pass. All right, so Squally does the 1545 awesome, and it is a Rolex Submariner Homage type watch, right? So there's people that hate on these, but for whatever reason, they'll give these a pass. I don't know. There's a lot of weird inconsistencies. So a brand will come out with another watch, whether it's Squally or somebody else. It'll be somebody else, right? And I'll get comments of people just saying like, "Oh, joy, another Rolex Submariner Homage." But then when a brand comes out and does something like this that is bold, unique, their own style, their own design, everything, you know, it's very well done, then most people go like, that's gross or that's hideous or it's not my thing or whatever your feelings are on it. So I guess my point is these watches are made because they sell. So the people that are maybe hating on it aren't going to buy it, but there is a ton of people that do buy it. The reason they buy it is because it's a clean, classic, beautiful design. As is this, but it has a smaller niche market. I don't know. Just a little gripe. Yeah, the Visitor is, if you want a different wild card type watch, then there are not tons, but there's a few models of the Visitor that are definitely going to tick that box. Now, the Linden was done with much more restraint. So it is certainly unique and tasteful, and it's not as bold as this diver is, right? But I feel like the Linden is like maybe, I don't want to say a compromise, but it almost seems like a compromise from Visitor to dial it back a bit and appeal to more people. I don't know if that was intentional or what the deal was with that, but the Linden is actually pretty sweet. I'm digging that one for sure. These are really cool too, but I don't know if I would buy it and wear it. It's hard to say. All right, I'm going to go back. Let's see. Somebody asked about, I don't know where it's at. Somebody asked about the my Patreon. No, I do not have Patreon anymore. In here, I'll hold up the unfaded orange monster, the 50,000 subscriber monster next to the Visitor, so you can see the difference in the orange. Visitor calls this one, I think, tangerine, and it is definitely, you can see it's got maybe a little more red in the orange, but I wouldn't say the red stands out or anything. It's just a little more reddish orange than, say, this monster is just more of a clean orange. And then you have the C3 or C3X1. I'm not sure what lume is in there, but it has that greenish tinge to it, so it has a nice contrast to it. Check out that case back, guys. Isn't that wild? And that feels like it's super comfortable on wrist. And the straps that he's using are awesome. Like this thing, when you put it on wrist, like you wouldn't look at this watch and think that this is going to be a great feeling watch on my wrist, right? That's not your first thought. Until you put it on, you're like, wow, that's legit comfortable. And it's because of that case back. And it feels like it might have a shorter lug to lug than you would think for this size watch too. All right, let's see. Was it Nick that asked? Okay, so Nick is asking about the Patreon. I completely deleted the Patreon account. I have no Patreon anymore. And what took place of the Patreon is I've always had the Discord group with the Patreon, but I basically created my own thing, and it's called the Founders Group. There's 100 founders, and I don't know how many co-founders yet. We're only at like 18 or something. I'm still debating adding to that or not. I suppose we'll probably open that up soon. Maybe this week, if I have time, I can do a video. And Nick, send me an email if you already didn't. I know a couple of people have, and I'm kind of slow rolling that whole process because I have to be careful of. I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal because if I let somebody in and they seem like they're not a good fit for the group, I can always just boot them. So it's really not a big deal. Yeah, just email me, I guess. You can probably find my email in an older video or my YouTube channel description, or it's actually right there on that card back there if you look on one of my videos and screenshot it and zoom in. All right. Justin EDC said he's been trying to get in the club too. Yeah. Email me, guys. Listen, it's a smaller audience here in the live stream, so I'd honestly prefer if you guys that are like my regulars and the positive people in the community, I would rather you, like right now we're talking, I would rather you guys reach out to me via this conversation versus me putting out a video and thousands of people watching it, because at some point people are going to play this video back. Maybe sometimes my lives get a few thousand views, but right now there's 124 people watching and listening. So you guys can hit me up, whenever tonight. I'll try to answer. I'm usually pretty done by the time the live stream's done, but Mr. America wants in too. Yeah, guys, hit me up. This is, there's my email right there. You can write that down. Let's see. Somebody else had let's see. Mr. America says, Rob, I'm struggling between the Titanium Aquas and the Sinn 104. Help. I have two watches, the Hamilton Khaki currently and the G-Shock. Listen, the Aquas, oh man, G-Man down. So the Oris Aquas and the Sinn 104, they could coexist easily. So yeah, and then Casper from Ghost Watches says, if you're a flipper, stick with the Sinn 104. I don't know what they're doing now because the prices went up. So I don't know if that price increase also drags the resale price up on the 104, or does it make it so now you take a bigger hit? I don't know. That's yet to be determined. I guess I haven't really been tracking used Sinn 104s. But yeah, the Sinn 104, if you can find one that catches your eye, then you're probably a little safer with that, especially if you buy used. If you pick up the Aquas, yeah, so Craig has both. And he's saying the Aquas wears better. Oh yeah, the bracelet, 100% the bracelet is better on the Aquas. It has a nice taper to it. I don't know, see, the more I think about this, I actually personally like the Aquas more than I like the Sinn 104, if I'm being completely honest. Because it's extremely unique. Nobody else is making a watch like that. Whereas like the Sinn 104, I hate to pick on it too much, but you can pick up like this RZE watch, which is kind of Sinn 104-ish, but it's done in titanium and it has a full lume dial, and you can pick these up for like way less than you can a Sinn 104. And quite frankly, the bracelets, I wouldn't say the bracelet's better, but the clasp is easier to use and everything. So yeah, and you can get a discount on the Oris. You have more authorized dealers to select from. Let's see. Oh, Ryan says, sad day, shattered my G-Shock DW5600E crystal demoing a block wall today at work. Lasted me 5.5 years. Wow, man. I too have ruined a couple. There, I don't know if I have one sitting here. I think I do. So I too have ruined a couple of 5600s, but you can pick one up for $40. So I know maybe $40 is a lot of money to you, but yeah, I don't know. Just pick up another one, because I remember I was doing some welding on an old Jeep Wrangler, and I started to get some weld slag like splatter on the crystal, and it screwed it all up. And then another one, I got some crazy chemicals that I probably shouldn't have been exposed to, but they got on the strap and kind of ate it up a little bit. But yeah, it's hard to beat a 5600, that's for sure. Yep, Craig is saying, hit up Richard at Saltzman's. Tell him Random Rob sent you. Let's see here. Yeah, 40. Yeah, think about that. $40 for 5 years. That's pretty good. Justin Cooper asked, Rob, what do I do for a living other than this? You know, I actually thought about doing a full video, and I don't know if there would be interest in this, because I've mentioned what I do for my day job many times, which I'm a natural gas utility technician, field technician. But I thought about doing a video that basically, I'd have to figure out how to title it. But I could probably say like what my day job is. You know, I've been doing that for like over 20 years. I don't know. I mean, I could even go into some detail about. I don't think I would give exact numbers, but I could kind of passive aggressively explain to you guys what some of the earnings are and everything too. So, all right, William Carey, have a good time. Hopefully everything goes smooth. I'll talk to you later. Kevin says I'm going to turn into a superhero with those toxic chemicals. I wish. I'm a huge Marvel fan, so and DC really, but that would be really cool if that would happen. But I suspect cancer would actually happen versus superhero. But let's see. We have been debating I should save up for a Grail watch, which would take me a few years, or if I should get some other watches. The age-old question. Should you play now or save now? Well, I think you can do both. And I've done both, and a lot of other people have done both. Yes, it's going to cost you some money along the way. But I think you can flip. You can buy watches and flip. Natural gas superhero. Oof. Yeah. Now you guys are going to come in with some jokes. Still waiting on that Victorinox review. So I made that video. I just haven't posted it. A lot of these videos I've already made, and I just haven't posted. Design says he can't flip. Hey, you can. Just post them up. Sell them, man. Move on. William says, live before you die, and then throws up a dap. Casper said, I've flipped my way to a level of watches I never would have dreamed. I think the other thing that flipping kind of does, and maybe I've never really talked about this, but it kind of desensitizes you a little bit too. And exposes you to like the differences in quality between the price levels, and in some cases how little that difference in quality could be, at least felt quality from the outside without digging into the guts. So, you know, because you can pick up a Seiko Monster, and you can pick up a Breitling, And, you know, some people might pick both these watches up and be like, how is this one only, you know, when I bought it originally, like $200, and how is this one 4,000? Like, why are they so much different in price? So, I think until you start to handle them all and experience them all, that you'll start to understand what justifies some of that value in it, or maybe you can't justify the value in it. So, but sometimes it's fun just to check them out. Kevin says not much separates Christopher Ward and Notice. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the big difference between Notice and Christopher Ward is I mean, not the big difference, but one of the glaring things would be the movement, whereas Christopher Ward's using Swiss movements, Solita movements, and in some cases the COSC, whereas Notice is going to be using the same movement that's in the Seikos. Steven says he keeps seeing the new red metal square with the 3229 module specification even on G-Shock website. What's up with that? I don't think that's what's in it. Kevin says, yeah, the 9015 versus the SW200. Honestly, I've had really good luck with both of the 9015 and the SW200. It's just the Rotowatt. Floridian needs, you want me to send you a spark ignition module? I can send you one. Pick one out and let me know which one you want. Terry's asking, hey Rob, have you heard of the Vostok Luna dude? Extremely limited run from, is that the full lume dial? I am aware of some sort of full lume dial on the Vostok. I can't remember. I don't think I've seen it. I'd have to do some research on it. Josh R is asking me, should I flip the SARB 035 cream dial or see what happens to prices? I don't even know what the prices are at on the SARB 035 right now. But honestly, if you're ready to sell it, just sell it. I mean, you can hold on to a watch for prices if you want, if that's what your ultimate goal is. But if you're done with the watch and you want to move on, just sell it. Let's see. Yeah, Nick is asking, have I seen the Zurich watches? I have. Pictures. Excuse me. I've seen pictures of the Zurich watches. I have not actually handled them. I have owned a couple of their straps. They seem like they're pretty actually well made. So, and the watches look pretty wild. Kevin says he heard that Tag is discontinuing the Atuvia. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know if that watch sold as good as they had hoped. There's some watches that kind of have like a lot of hype around them that gets built up, and then it just kind of peters out, or something else kind of replaces the hype machine on that particular watch. I don't know. I haven't checked one out. So Kevin says, thoughts on the Omega Planet Ocean compared to your Seamaster? You'd have to ask Bruce or my buddy Dirk on that, because they both have had both the Planet Ocean. I've never, have I handled? I don't think I've handled the Planet Ocean. It's probably a good thing I don't, because there is one Planet Ocean that I would actually go for. And it was a limited edition, and it was like a transitional model where they had the, I'm trying to think of how they did that. It had the 2500 movement in it, so it was a thinner Planet Ocean, because I think the Planet Oceans are too thick. So it had the 2500 in it, so it was a thinner Planet Ocean. And then it had, I think, what they called the liquid metal. So I think it had the ceramic bezel insert with the liquid metal poured into it, but then it still had the 2500 in it. So it was a ceramic bezel Planet Ocean limited, and it might even have been a titanium Planet Ocean too. I can't remember. I can't find the model number for it anymore, but yeah, I'm super happy with my Planet, or my Seamaster, so I don't need to have a Planet Ocean. Yeah, Dirk just chimed in. He straight up, like, the Planet Ocean is awesome. Like, I think he feels like both of them are awesome, but the Seamaster seems to just kind of be more comfortable for the longer wear times. Do I still have the Tudor Black Bay 41? No, I sold that to Tennessee Mike, and he is wearing the heck out of that, which is awesome. Floridian is asking, Rob, what do I think? Siesta Key or Marco Island? Trying to decide which to move to later this year. I like both. Hard choice. Oh, Floridian, you come on, man. What kind of, you know what? I haven't been to Marco. That's a little bit further south, right? So Siesta Key, I kind of like, but the last time I was down there, I actually stayed on Anna Marie Island, and I like Anna Marie even more than Siesta. Now, okay, so you're talking about down near Naples. I want to go further south. The next time I go down there, I'm going further south. I'm going down towards Naples. I want to go explore that area. I suspect I might like it even a little bit more. I don't know what the population does. Yeah, Lido was nice. Anna Marie kind of gave me a vibe of almost like I don't know. It definitely felt like an island. That's all the watches you got left now. Kind of. I mean, if actually this one's not mine, this one's not mine, but I'm seriously thinking about buying one of these. I'm fairly confident I'm going to buy one of these once I sell a couple watches. So I'll leave it in there, and then we'll take that out, and then I'll put this back in. So yeah, this is potentially what my collection will look like for most of 2021. Yeah, Floridian says anywhere in Florida works right now. Let's see, Damasco or Stova. You know what? For me, Michael, or wait, who said that? Kevin asked Damasco or Stova. I think the Damasco, the more I read up on the brand and the more I learn about it, the more I need to just pick one of these up, because that's, as far as German tool watches go, I don't know if you can top that. I mean, I don't even feel like I need to look anymore. Let's see. 49 degrees on Marathon. Yep. Could always go further south, I guess. Go all the way down. I didn't spend enough time on Marathon Key. I know that. Soon I will get back down there. A lot of white dials there. Yeah. Four of them. But I think they kind of overpower the other ones, I guess. I like the white dials. What can I say? MJ says the Tag Heuer prices are way overpriced. You can get discounts on those. Like, you can walk into almost any authorized dealer and show interest in Tag Heuer, and they're going to probably come up to you and offer you a deal without even asking if you want to see anything. There's discounts on Tag. Michael's asking, or not asking, he's wondering if the new Damasco movement is worth it. Mark at Long Island Watch did a review on it. So, in my opinion, the new Damasco movements versus, because they already use ETA movements, where Sinn uses primarily Sellita, which if I had a choice, I'm going to pick ETA over Sellita. I think them making their own in-house movement and how interchangeable a lot of the parts are with the ETA counterparts is extremely wise. Now, if they can figure out a way to mass produce those and bring the cost down, then I'm 100% on board. But if they're just going to make them and keep them to themselves and just charge a premium and consider their brand full in-house German made, then I'm kind of not as happy. I don't want to say I'm not happy about it. I think that's a good power move from a brand, but I would just as soon spend a lot less money and get it with the ETA in it. I don't have a problem with the ETA 2836 that's in this, or a 2824 or anything like that, versus, you know, paying a premium of what, $700-800. I don't even know what the premium is for a movement that they created. I don't know. I don't personally see the value in that, but I know a lot of people will. Let's see. Nefarian says he wishes it was COSC. So it's going to be a German brand. So they're not going to do a COSC on it. They're going to regulate it. They regulate even their ETA movements on it. So if you like, I could throw this on the time grapher and it's going to perform awesome. It's going to probably be within COSC spec. They don't go through the same process as what it takes to do a COSC, but they can't. I don't want to say they can't. Could they? I don't know if they can. Yeah, I don't think they're going to mess around with COSC. I don't think they should. To a certain extent, we could almost do away with COSC. You know, these brands, look at what Omega did. They created their own. You know, Rolex have created their own. All that is something that can standardize or quantify, you know, that resonates with the watch buying population. Like, because my Breitling is COSC, but if Breitling, they don't need to do that. They could regulate it and come up with their own. They could call it BETS instead of METUS or whatever, you know, Breitling S, and then go beyond COSC. I almost look at COSC as, you know how people, or maybe you guys don't know, but you know, you ever heard the term mil spec? So when you have some products that are, quote, mil spec, for some reason people have in their head that that is better than a civilian model of something. And it's sometimes worse. It's not better all the time. So I almost feel like some brands, the COSC, might hold them back because, like for Omega, they've done more. So they've surpassed that requirement. They don't need it. And William says some Chinese watches are super duper certified. Let's see. Stover or Damasco, why not the Hamilton flight watches? Hamilton would be a really good one too. I think those are affordable. You just got to go for what you guys want. We get stuff that was from the lowest bidder. Yeah. That's what mil-spec really means. It's like, well, this is what we want, and then we want to buy it as cheap as possible. Boom, mil-spec. Let's see, Monta regulates to plus 5 seconds, and you're not paying for COSC on the SW300 top grade. Let's see, Tudor Pelagos versus Omega Seamaster. I'm sure you've probably already watched it, but Adrian over at Bark and Jack just did that video. Or did he do that video? Or he was going to do that video. I can't remember. I think he did it. I think he did a killer job of it too, actually. Had all the specs up and showed you the, you know, how they compared. That was a really good video. I'm assuming you've already watched that, but if you haven't, go check out Bark and Jack. I think he already did that. A good comparison between the Tudor Pelagos and the Seamaster. I've handled both. This is as thick as I really want to go on a watch, and the Pelagos is thicker. If they thinned it down a little bit, I would be on board because that is a killer watch. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. The Seamaster really is awesome. Dirk is having a do-nothing day. He's not even working a second job. What else? Getting fuzzy playback. Nick, you might have to close out the video and reload it again. That might be all it is. Surprise ending with that. See, I wasn't surprised. There's something about this white dialed Seamaster. I'm telling you, like he said it straight up. Actually, I think I just watched that video yesterday or today. He mentioned, yeah, certainly with the white dial, it isn't going to work in all occasions, depending on what you're wearing and stuff like that. But most of us aren't really wearing them that way, or it's like it doesn't matter if you're just on Zoom meetings, or in my case, I'm just out working by myself, so it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing. But so I'll wear this with anything, and that's just a beautiful watch. So you can do a tool watch, and that's more in line with what the Tudor Pelagos is it's more of a tool watch, less of a jewelry watch. I like, I mean, if you look at what I'm wearing here, I think I lean a little more to the jewelry side of things, all while trying to have a little bit of a tool watch vibe to it. Blue Sky says, will you ever buy a Grand Seiko? I don't think so. I don't want to say no, but I definitely am leaning more towards no. Craig says the Pelagos thickness is really not an issue. I get it. I've worn them. I've tried them. I've worn them. It isn't that big of a deal, especially since it's the titanium and it's lighter and everything. But there's something missing there with the Pelagos, and I haven't been able to do it yet. Let's see. Mike says the Seamaster wears better on the rubber strap. I have a Zalandi rubber strap. Craig has it right now. I loaned it out. Floridian is asking, was my Rolex the first jewelry watch that I had? Man, I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. Well, no, because I had I would say the ceramic bezels, the previous generation to this one with the 2500 in it, or the coaxial 2500. That was probably more of my first jewelry watch. That was one of my bigger purchases. I couldn't imagine, honestly, thinking back to a luxury watch purchase decision, the Seamaster like always was at the top of the list with that, and that's why I picked up the black dial with the ceramic bezel insert. If you look back one of my old videos, that was like my first luxury watch purchase. So, and even before then, like in my mind, I was always convinced that an Omega Seamaster needed to be in the lineup at some point. Yeah, Craig, shoot Zalandi an email. Maybe he can add, because I noticed they've been adding different colors and everything up. Maybe they could add a different length. M. Kabat is asking, which do I like better, the Super Ocean or the Seamaster? That's a tough call. I think for me they coexist. Like better. Let me think. I think a very slight advantage. I like the Seamaster a little bit more, but I mean neither one of them nudges the other one out as far as like keeper status or anything like that. Mr. America, thoughts on the Holy Trinity? Who would you put in there? I don't play at that level, man. I don't even know how to say those brands. Blue Sky, what was your first Casio, even if it's not a G-Shock, just any Casio? I don't still have my first Casio, but let me grab one. I'll show you. So the first Casio I bought was actually a variation of this. It wasn't this one. It was a different color. I don't remember. It might have been the black with the orange trim, but it was one of these analog watches, and I picked it up from just a local box store, and I think I paid like, I don't know, 20 some bucks for it or something, and yeah, it worked perfect. So Let's see. Steve says he has an OEM Omega strap. Don't think I'll use it. It's even in the package. Don't know why she gave it to me. I'll buy it off you. Let's see. The first gen black Seamaster is going up also. Yeah. Since we're in Michigan, would you ever buy a Shinola? JD asked, since we're from Michigan, would you ever buy a Shinola? I've owned a few Shinola, and I would buy another one. I personally, I think I like the Runwells. I'd like to maybe see a Runwell automatic with the wire lugs. I kind of dig that look. Yeah, Bean Boy says these are great value, really, and they have a ton of different colorways. This one was gifted to me. I forget who gave it to me, but and normally I give these kinds of watches away, but that white dial is just too dang cool. I'm assuming I'll wear it at some point. Scott says he'd like me to have a freestyle on the show. I could order in a freestyle. Check it out. The Dust Diver. Yes, this is a Initial D G-Shock square, just chilling in the back. Probably start wearing this again, or not again. I'll probably start wearing it soon. Yep, I was very, very thankful that my buddy Adam over at 1010 Talk emailed me and asked me about that one, so I picked that up. Nick is asking, does the wife wear watches? My wife wears an Apple Watch. She has other watches. I've bought her a few other watches. Let's see. JD says they do make the Runwell automatic. See, yeah, but it's in the 45, right? I don't know. That's probably too big. The Runwell I had before was a quartz, and I went in. I bought it from their clearance or something like that in the what do you call it? The seconds hand hit the ticks pretty good, so I picked that up dirt cheap. So if you can pick up a Shinola either used or from, what do you call it? An outlet. That's what it was. It was a Shinola outlet store. Nefarian. Yeah, if I ever pick up a Trueno or a AE86, then I could wear my Initial D G-Shock square as I deliver tofu and run the toge. Mr. America said he just picked up the neon yellow G-Shock for his son's 10th birthday. That is awesome. Don't spill the water. Yep. You guys talking prices on those Omega straps? Yeah, they get pretty crazy really fast. Desmo BC, who makes a great automatic chronograph around $1,000? Oh man, I don't know. I'm not big into chronographs, so I don't know where to go for that. I know Hamilton has some. The Oris Aquas is now being offered with ETA and their new in-house movement. The Oris Aquas actually has a Salida in it. It's not an ETA. Yeah, Kevin says the Intramatic. I like the Hamilton Intramatic, but those are over 1,000, right? So some of those they're more than 1,000 for some of those chronographs. I don't really care for automatic chronographs. They just end up getting too thick. Yeah, maybe 1,400 gray market. How much is the how much is the Damasco automatic chronograph, the single hand? That's a thinner watch. I think those are over 1,000 though too. I think they're probably like 1,800 bucks or something. all ETA is going to go up in price. Probably. That's where I hope like some brands with their in-house movements will sell them and stuff, and it'll kind of stabilize the market. Ah, Nefarian, yes, with the mic drop. Pick up the Seagull. Yeah, just go pick up a Seagull. What are they called? 1963s or something like that. Just go pick up one of those. $300. It's actually a really cool watch. It's mechanical though. It's not automatic. Or yeah, Blue Shirt Buddha has a good point. If you can stretch your limit a little bit and pick up that Longines Big Eye, that would be a good pickup too. Or the HKED. Actually, I have another. Hold on a second. I haven't done the video on this one yet, but this one actually has the seagull movement in it. I need to do the video on this one soon. I forget what the brand is even called. What is this one called? It's Good Speed, right? Yeah, it's Good Speed. So this has the seagull movement in it, the mechanical wind movement. And if you look, you can see the seconds, the running seconds is going. And then you can start the chronograph. I don't know how much these are. You can go look these up. I still haven't done the... Yeah, so any of these watches basically that have the seagull movement in it, the EMG, the HKED, the Seagull 1960, these, the Good Speed. You can pick these things up pretty cheap, I'm sure. So I need to do the video on this one soon. Let's see. Yeah, Hamilton Intramatic. That's the one white dialed chronograph that actually keeps pulling my attention, is that Hamilton Intramatic. I might have to add another white dial to the collection, maybe later. Yeah, you could do the below the moon watch, but that's not automatic. All right, I'm gonna probably wrap this up soon, guys. Do you have any more questions? I'm kind of petering out, man. I'm getting tired. The Intramatic chrono is coming out with a hand wind, will be thinner. I have not heard that. I would be interested in that. Justin says, Rob, think you'll ever get another Rolex? Yeah, maybe. Eventually. Maybe later down the road. Scott asked if I'm watching The Bachelor tonight. No, we don't watch like regular TV. We watch like a lot of YouTube channels, stuff like that. Just get the Daytona. I don't even care for the way the Daytona looks. I would take a Speedmaster over a Daytona. Get the new Zenith. Oh, you know what, Kevin, you're probably joking about that new Zenith, but I'm actually a huge fan of that Zenith. And I know I just said I don't really care for the Daytona. I would take that Zenith over the Daytona. Am I a baseball guy? I do like watching baseball, and I would play baseball, but I need to probably get in better shape. Yeah, the hand wind Intramatic. I don't know if somebody has a reliable source on that. I'll have to ask my buddy Mimo. But manual wind Intramatic Hamilton, if they keep it like the same size and everything and just ditch the automatic part of it and make it a little bit thinner, I'm kind of on board with that. That would be pretty sweet. What do you think entry Rolex? Entry Rolex as in, I mean, for me, for my wrist size, and the Oyster Perpetual 41. Just pick a color and get it. If I were going to go buy a Rolex today, say I could walk in and I could buy one with what I could actually afford to actually pay right now, I would probably pick up, I know this is probably gonna be weird sounding, but I'd probably pick up a white dial, date just 41 on Jubilee with the smooth bezel. Someone's asking, where is the Tudor? How's the wear and tear been? I sold the Tudor. I sold the Tudor. I sold the Tudor, and I was originally going to replace it with another Tudor Black Bay 41. It was like a black dial with a blue bezel, and it ended up coming in and being a piece of junk. So I sent it back, and then I just kind of got turned off on it. So I'll probably add a Tudor later on down the road, maybe. Flipper for life, yeah. I listen. Most of these watches that you see in front of you right here, I don't have any intention of flipping. Like when I was looking to sell, even just recently, what I sold, the titanium G-Shock Square was one that I was like, you know, that's $1,000 I have just sitting there. You know, I don't wear a ton. I could sell that, and I picked it up to maybe try to list it, and I was like, no, I'm not ready to sell that. You know, but the rest of these they're kind of off limits. I have no intention of selling them. So I'm gonna have to spell it out with the Scrabble letters. I sold the Tudor. Did I? Maybe I didn't do a video on it. Maybe I need to make a video saying that I sold the Tudor Black Bay 41 and why. Where do I sell my watches, Rob? I sell them on my Discord channel. I sell most of my watches. Any watch that I've sold, so here's how you sell a watch. The super simple formula, right? Let's just pick a watch, right? So say you want to sell a watch because you want to buy another watch, right? And you have this Seamaster white dial, and you know that the retail on these was like $5,200, and you know it's now used and it's got some scratches, and even on the secondary market, they're probably still selling at close to 5,000 because the white dial's in demand, right? But say I want to sell this thing right now. This is what you do. You take really good pictures and or video. You prove the timekeeping on it. You have all of your paperwork, and then you post it somewhere, wherever your choice is to sell it. I sell it in my private group. But if I wanted to sell this thing like right now, typically if I've made the decision to sell a watch, then I'm going to sell the watch. So you have to put a sell price on it. So for a watch like this, I'd probably post it up for like $3,900, $3,750 or something like that, and it would sell within minutes. It would sell, and there would probably be 10 other people messaging me after it sold and I got paid for it, complaining that they missed out on it. Yeah, Bobby Leg says it helps if you put a bow tie on it. So you just do that with any watch. You just pick a watch. Like, say you want to do it with the Visitor Linden, right? I paid like 600 and something for it, and it's going to take a huge hit, right? But I'm done with it, and I want to sell it, right? You post this thing up for $350, boom, it's gone. That's what you do. That's how you sell a watch. Everybody buying something like this, and they paid $650 for it or whatever, and then they post it up for $550, and they're like, why is no one buying it? Because you didn't price it right. No one's going to buy it at $550. They're just going to pay the extra $100 and go buy it brand new. If you want to sell certain watches, use the correct price. The watch is only worth what somebody will give you for it. How do you have the exact same watches? I don't know what that means. Stuart says, I start laughing when I hear you say that I will never sell that watch. You have to accept the loss no matter what. Yeah, it's flipping life, man. Let's see. Yeah, so what I do is I'll research. I'll go on Watch Recon and see what they're listed for and or sold for. I'll go on eBay, see what they actually sold for. Actually sold for, not what they're listed for. You can take some of that into consideration too, but once you determine what they're actually selling for, then I take that price and I reduce it even more, and then I list my watch and it gets sold. That's how it works. The only one that didn't sell on my recent little sell-off was my Zimby Monster. And I probably just need to lower the price and it'll sell. All right. I think I'm going to kill the stream, guys. I'm going to close you out with a lume shot. Let's see. Yeah, Driver Fish says it's hard to find good. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find good deals. Tell you what, man, on my Discord group, there's a lot of flipping going on. Chaz from the Burgers here. All right, I got to put this one out here too if I'm going to kill the. All right, I'm going to kill the lights, guys. Thanks for chiming in. And check out all that lume. For being C1, it'll peter out, right? The lume on that will peter out over time pretty quick. But that C1 initial is super, super good. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.